or, due to domestic violence, a number of different things. And so what I did was I blew up these photos. This is Warrants Field. That is Anthony Harding. You're going to hear from Anthony's family today because I would rather them tell you what their family is going through and what they're experiencing. But I need us to understand that for as much as we want to act like that this movement and this moment is over, it's not. Black lives still matter. We're still screaming to the top of our lungs. We're still fighting. Not much has changed. The only difference is a lot of people are no longer allies, and them showing up was very performative. And I think at this point, we have to highlight, especially during Black History Month, that we don't have time for performative politics. We don't have time for people picking and choosing when Black Lives Matter. We are dying every day, even when there's no cameras showing up. And so that is why we're here today. One of the biggest things that I want you guys to focus on is that Massachusetts still has no knock warrants. State Representative Liz Miranda filed a motion for a police reform bill in order to get rid of no knock warrants. And at the time, Attorney General Maura Healey pushed back. And so even though they passed this police reform bill, it was watered down and no knock warrants still happen in Massachusetts. In fact, a family in Dorchester, in Regis Apartments, had their house bombarded by a no-knock warrant. 2 parents and their 15-year-old child in Dorchester. And the city of Boston had to pay them $500,000 for running in their house. That trauma they will never get rid of. So one of the things that we're going to be mobilizing people to do today is call your state legislator. We're getting ready to go into a governor's race. Attorney General Maura Healey is running for governor. You have State Rep Liz Miranda running for Senate. But no-knock warrants is still on the papers in Massachusetts. So we're going to be asking people to push back. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Anthony Harding's family is here. And so if you guys could come, that would be great, just so that you can speak to what happened to you. You guys welcome them. Bless you. God bless you.
On November 22nd of last year, my brother Anthony Harding, who's 30 years old, he just celebrated his 30th birthday in September. He was killed 2 minutes after an interaction with the police. They came into his home. He was in his bedroom. The police claimed, first the police created 3 different narratives. First they said that there was a knife at the scene. Then they said that he lunged at the police officer with a knife. Then the final thing that came out in the report, they said that he was violently in the act of trying to stab a police officer when another police officer shot him dead twice in his own bedroom. To this day, they have not disclosed or released any of the evidence related to his death. Us, the family, we have been roadblocked almost every step of the way in getting information in regards to what happened. The police won't allow us to have the initial police reports. The DA is not releasing any of the information. We had to file a civil suit against the DA's office for refusing to give us the information that we requested. They have not shown the weapon that he allegedly had. They have not shown there's video camera footage of the entrance to his apartment. They have not released any of that. As a family, we've just been roadblocked every step of the way. My brother, Anthony Harding, it was like a son to me and my sister. We were kind of like, almost like mother and father figures. My mom passed away about 15, 16 years ago. So we're really all he had, and as my younger brother, he's kind of all I had. So the pain that me and the family were feeling from the loss of my 30-year-old younger brother during the holidays at the hands of the police force, it's unbearable. And the fact that not only was he killed by the police, but we've been roadblocked every way in getting transparency in his death. It compounds to the pain when you think the people that are supposed to be there to protect and serve and help us are the ones killing us, and not only that, covering up each other's mistakes. My brother was shot by a white female police officer by the name of Chelsea Campoloni in Fall River, Massachusetts. He is He's a black male, she's a white female. I'm not saying race was the primary factor, but we'd be a fool in this day and age to say that it wasn't a factor. Right? Two white police officers walk into a black male's house. They don't know what to expect. He's in his bedroom. They're already on edge. Within 2 minutes of his interaction with the police officers, he was shot dead. 2 minutes. They came into his bedroom. He was sitting down. He was actually on house arrest. He was charging his ankle bracelet. They claim that in the 2 minutes, he got up, lunged them, and attacked the police officer. My brother, his twin brother, Anton Harden, was in the room right beside his twin brother's room. When the police came in, he took the dog, who was really rowdy. He took the dog and put the dog in his room. Because the last time the police came, they tased the dog. And they tased my brother. So this time, when the police showed up, he was like, I'm going to take the dog, I'm going to put it in the other room. He didn't think that would be the last time he'd see his brother alive. Within the 2 minutes of putting the dog in the other room, the police entered my brother Anthony's room. They started interacting with him. Within 2 minutes, my brother Anton, who was in the other room, about 5 feet away from the door, heard a scuffle, and the police say, stop resisting. Stop resisting. And about 2 seconds later, after hearing stop resisting, there were 2 shots fired and shot and killed him dead in his bedroom. At no point did any officers yell, drop the knife, he's got a weapon, drop the weapon. None of that was yelled. The only thing said by the police officers were, stop resisting. Shortly after, 2 shots, dead. So then again, you know, the police force gets a hold of it. They roadblock the family. They create this whole narrative where he's a violent individual. They put out all this slanderous stuff about my brother being a violent individual. He's never been convicted of a crime. He doesn't have a criminal record. But they put out that he was violently attacking an officer with a knife when they shot and killed him. And they had to do that in ultimate self-defense. Enough is enough. I don't know if you want to say anything about it, but
I think one of the major things in this whole investigation, on this whole travesty, is that they are still, the DA and the Fall River Police are refusing to give us any evidence related to our brother's death. They have published an 11-page narrative that justifies the officers in shooting our brother, but has yet to give us any of the evidence to where they came and got that conclusion, but continue to say that it's an ongoing investigation. So I don't understand how you can create an 11-page report that justifies the officers in shooting our brother, but you're not able to give us the evidence in his death by saying that it's an ongoing investigation. But yet you're justifying the officers in shooting our brother. I think a lot of people don't know that in this case. There is evidence that they're refusing to give us, such as footage of outside the apartment. So the DA, the Bristol County DA and the Fall River Police have not named the officer that has shot and killed our brother. However, because Fall River is a small community, we are aware of the police who shot and killed our brother. And we've not done anything to this person. But it's interesting that there has been other officer-related shootings in Fall River where the police have given out the names of the officers. In this case, the DA and the Fall River Police have not came out and given out the names of the officers who have shot our brother. But on the other hand, they have put out an 11-page report that justified this officer in shooting our brother, and has put out information on his history, but has yet to put out the person who has shot our brother. So I think that's one thing to note, and what we're looking for is legislature that says that if there is an officer that is involved in a shooting, you have a time frame in where you have to release the evidence. So it's not giving us an undetermined amount of time where you're going to continue to say it's an ongoing investigation. When is the investigation going to end? When are you going to give us the evidence that's related to our brother's death? And I feel that that's the least that they can do. We're not so we've recently we put out a lawsuit seeking just the evidence, because we would like the evidence to speak for itself and to speak for our
brother, who's no longer here, versus the officers that were in the room. Well, now that my brother, the one who was shot, cannot speak for himself. And I think it's interesting to note that his twin that was in the adjoining room made note that he did hear them say, stop resisting, but never heard them say, put the weapon down. If my brother had a knife and was lunging at the officers, as they have stated. So what we're looking for, and we think that people need to know, is that at this time, there's no legislature that says that officer-involved shooting, they have a timeline of when they need to release the evidence to not just the family, but the community, because they are here to protect and serve. So I think at some point, they need to give the community those answers, not just the family, but at the least give us a timeline on when they're going to give us this evidence.
Also, we don't have we don't have body cameras. We're pushing to get them, try to get them instated. The city department has a grant for the body cameras, but the police union is fighting against getting body cameras, stating that they want more money to do their job with body cameras on. That's the police officers union in Florida's stance on wearing body cameras. There's already a grant for over, I think, $220,000 to supply the Florida Police Department with body cameras, but the union is fighting to get a raise just so they can do their job with the body cameras on. So that's what we're fighting against.
And I think it's interesting that even if we had the footage of what happened through a body camera, I think at some point they could still say, we're not going to give you the evidence, because that's what's going on now. There's footage of them going into my brother's apartment, but they're refusing to give it to us. So even with body cameras, there has to be a timeline where they cannot say that it's under investigation. We're not able to give it to you. So I think for us, body cameras is great, but if they're not going to give us that evidence, then it's going to be useless in this battle.
Thank you guys so much.
You know, there should be a committee every time we hold things like that.
That's right.
To really hold them accountable in a sense of which they...
Where are you going to do this stuff?
No, like they feel watched.
Yeah.
They don't feel watched, and that's when they do whatever they want.
So as I stated before, we're out here because 9 seconds. 9 seconds is what it took for them to clear Amir Locke when they ran in his house on a no-knock warrant. I know most of us have seen the video footage. I opted not to watch the video footage just because of the amount of trauma that black folks incur on a regular basis, watching footage over and over again about people being murdered. But 9 seconds, he was dead. Lawrence Smith Fields, say her name.
Lawrence Smith Fields.
Lawrence Smith Fields went out on a date via Tinder. Bumble, excuse me. The white guy who she went on a date with wasn't arrested, wasn't even taken into custody. Laura ends up dead. Her family is currently fighting for them to give over the evidence, investigate this man, charge this man. We know that if he was black, he would already be in custody. Laura lost her life in Connecticut, going on a date. There's been several stalls, lies being told in her case. I want to highlight Lauren's life today, but at the same time, the same day that Lauren lost her life, Brenda Lee Rawls lost her life. Same situation. Went on a date, was unalive. Nobody investigating. They didn't even tell her family. She was laying in the morgue and her body hadn't been cleaned. That's how they see our people. When they don't see you as human, it's easy to kill you. It's easy to assassinate you. It's easy to discredit you. It's easy to do a lot of things when you're not seen as human. It's very frustrating being an activist right now. I just want to put that out there for all of those who are activists and organizers. We're exhausted, I'm going to be honest. I'm tired of protesting. And then they say, are you going to protest peacefully? No, I want to kick in somebody's fucking door. The truth of the matter is the same way that they kill us, they should be happy that black folks are not asking for revenge. We're only asking for equity. And at this point, we're not asking. We're demanding it. It's very, very frustrating to be somebody in this space. The amount of calls you get on a regular basis asking you to mobilize, and part of you just wants to go outside and start screaming and just start tearing stuff up out of frustration. It's like every time you see the news, it's like they killed another one. They killed another one. They killed another one of us. There's another mother now who doesn't have her child. Anthony. Gone. How do you not tell this family what happened? And I don't know if y'all remember But I also was going hard for them to tell Michaela Miller's mother what happened. Same thing. Still no answers. They say it was suicide, but none of it adds up. When you look at the data of black folks killing themselves, it doesn't add up. So part of the reason we're out here today is because Amir lives matter. Anthony Harden's life matter. Lawrence Smith Hill's life matter. Brenda Lee Rawls' life matter. And where's that other photo? This young lady was killed in Lowell, domestic violence. You know what they did? Gave a child's father custody of the child. That's what they did. We can't keep saying protect black women and Black Lives Matter and not actually following through. As a black woman, I want to tell y'all this. Protect black women before they become hashtags. Protect black women before they are unalived and on your news screen. When we say Black Lives Matter, that means all black lives. We don't pick and choose. Black men, black women, black children, black LGBTQIA, because before they know your sexuality, you are black. We are at a point now where you can't sit dormant. Everybody is creating the narrative that the movement died. We still been protesting, it's just y'all ain't been showing up. We still fighting it. And to those who love to use the analogy, well, what about black on black crime? That was a narrative created by white folks. There's no such thing. Any amount of people living amongst their own people is gonna kill their people. Why are we not talking about white on white crime? Why are we not talking about the amount of white children who have both parents in the house who are shooting up schools? Be careful about the narratives that you create and promote that are entrenched in white supremacy. Even when you see somebody that looks like you that says it, stop them in their tracks. Black on black crime is a narrative that was created by white supremacists, not us. So today, listen, I was out here back in June for George Floyd. We had 55,000. I'm a firm believer, rather we have 55,000 or 15. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what you do after we leave from out here. What matters is the phone calls you make, the legislators that you contact. Anthony Harden's family is standing out here with us and their brother's not here. If that's not enough for y'all to call legislators, call the district attorney for Fall River and let them know that this family deserves answers in their brother's case, then what we're doing is pointless. I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't just be out here protesting, yelling and screaming, and then y'all go home and eat y'all cheese sandwich and not do shit. So for as much as I'm protesting, I'm also helping get legislation passed. I'm also helping feed my people. We have a center in Hyde Park, 4,200 square feet, still housing shooting victims, still helping families that don't have food. This work is continuous for us. So when y'all take a break and decide Black Lives don't matter, or you gonna sit this one out, we don't have that option. Every day you wake up, I came to this work not because I chose it, but because somebody put a gun to my son's head and pulled the trigger. I got 6 kids. I got a black mama, I got a black husband, I got 6 black children. I got a black father. I don't have the luxury of not giving a fuck. I don't have the luxury to say, you know what, I'm gonna sit this one out and not come outside today. We just don't have that option. So we have Brother Gary from Black Lives Matter. Rhode Island. Gary come and speak to you guys, and then after that we'll move forward. Thank you.
Peace and blessings, everybody.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, brother.
We talk about black lives, black men, black women, and child. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, from Bed-Stuy. And growing up in the 70s and the 80s, I seen things you couldn't even imagine with this skin right here. You know, we know the black man is God, that's another topic, but I want to talk about police brutality, black on black crimes, all infested by the government, right? Because when we talk about having these things, there's a distinction about our communities. They want to change. We need our white allies, our brothers, right? they need to fix it fast. And they got the resources. So that means that mental health with police brutality is really high. It's crazy high. So when it affects them, it affects us. If you don't have money and resources and education to the black and brown communities, they're going to keep abusing us. So when you talk about black lives, I'm a black man that's been in mass incarceration for a long time, in and out the court system. The judicial system has failed us, periodly, like hands down. So it don't change the demographics of Boston, New York, California, anywhere in this hemisphere, that when they see black and brown bodies, they abuse them. I mean, they abuse them, and they're killing our babies now. So you gotta pay attention to that. Knowledge is infinite, right? We talk about education, but our education failed us tremendously. Not saying it's perfect, but it's fucked up. So, you know, we were one of the first to shut down the highway across America in Rhode Island. So we would travel all around the states. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to killing us, everybody's silent. It takes this type of shit to get everybody motivated. But it seems like with the white resources, meaning the white power, we need to understand demographics is changing. Now they're killing our babies and our women. You gotta pay attention to that. So, when I say black, y'all say matters. Black! Matters! Black! Matters! It always matters to us because we have to fix this place. New England's one of the top racist places in the country. Right here, in this town. And it takes black people to stand up and fight for that. We talk about independent, having education. We gotta understand the whole demographics. So, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. And let's just keep going. Black Lives Matter.
One voice! One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice! Justice! One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice!
Justice.
One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice!
Justice.
One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice!
Justice.
One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice!
Justice.
One voice!
One voice.
One word!
One word.
Justice!
Right now we're going to hear from Jeremy, who is a local organizer here in the city of Boston. Make some noise for Jeremy, y'all.
In a matter of less than 20 seconds, after police officers in Minnesota entered the residence where a 21-year-old was sleeping, a young man the same age as me was shot dead among shouts from pigs, demanding him to get on the ground before opening his eyes to awake from his sleep. Say his name. Say his name. Amir Locke. Look, don't fall for the hallucinations. We're seeing the same shit in Minnesota right here in our backyard, in Massachusetts, today. Today, black lives are worth less than the doors who get justice before us. Today, black lives are worth less than the doors who get justice before us. Here in Massachusetts, no-knock raves are still alive and well. Because we're looking at people like Attorney General Maura Healey lobby the State House demanding that they place flimsy restrictions on no-knock warrants and no-knock raids. Those exact restrictions are like this. If there's only a person 65 years or older in the house, a no-knock warrant cannot be issued. Anyone younger, your life is at risk. The other restriction is there cannot be a minor in the residence. Those are the only two restrictions on no-knock warrants in Massachusetts. The only. And you know how those get waived? They have to prove an imminent danger to their lives before entering a residence. If it's a white cop and my skin already violates the Second Amendment in your eyes, What is an imminent danger to your life the moment you stand outside of my house? What is an imminent danger to a white cop's life the moment he stands outside of a black person's house? When are we going to demand accountability from judges, from our state legislature, from our city councilors, from everyone? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't stop in the street. It stops when these people stop being racist bitches. And at the end of the day, Maura Healey, no matter how much screaming we do, is never gonna listen. So at the end of the day, the year is 2022. Her race is up for re-election. We have Andrea Campbell running against her. And the time is now to mobilize not only with our feet, not only with our fists, not only with our voices, but with our political power. So when I say move, you say more. Move! Maura! 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 Say his name.
Amir Locke.
Justice! One voice! One voice! One word! One word! Justice!
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
You guys, make some noise for Janelle, please. Roll of applause.
Yes, y'all. Happy Saturday. I cannot tell you how I don't sleep. I don't eat. I can barely make it. And not because of what they did to my son, but because what they continue to do every single day. They pick whoever they want to. They choke them out. They shoot them in the back. They kick their doors in. I don't understand it. Right now, we got another no-knock warrant where a gentleman was literally licensed to carry. 5 o'clock in the morning, they bust in his house, he shoots into the dark, not knowing who's coming in there because he lives in a high-crime area that the same police failed to protect him in. Shoots the cop, kills him. He's been sitting in prison for 7 years. He hasn't even had a trial yet. Understand, Maura Healey? Oh, yes, ma'am. You need to get with your homie, Miss Wu, who just created a whole coalition for black men. Did you hear about it? No? Huh.
Yeah.
Look, the one young lady.
Yeah.
The one young lady.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, Miss Wu is not even doing a job to even promote the positive actions that she even tries to put out there. But how about this? How about, while we don't even know about the good you're doing, how about can you point out some of the bad that others are doing and turn it around? Miss Wu, you have the power over the police commissioner. At your behest, he's fired. We're not talking about somebody that we as the people have to get together and push somebody out by election. You have the stroke of a pen to change so many things. And you get together this coalition that nobody knows about. People who should know, would know, don't know. Help? Over a cliff you're helping. Over a cliff you're helping people. Are you kidding me? They ran over my son intentionally. Google, arguing while black. Listen to the audio. Don't believe me. Don't wonder. Just Google. And then don't go home and fail to spend 7 minutes to write a letter to someone who has power. To someone who has a voice. Why is Maura Healey still making that kind of money? If I dropped the ball at my job like her, I would have been fired. And then we wouldn't have to hold an election to kill it, would we? But see, it's how we got to. We got to! Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Felicia. Understand that. You have the power. You. But Michelle Wu is the stroke of a pen. Imagine. So as far as I'm concerned, anybody who does have power to do something that doesn't do anything is worse than the person who has no power, who does everything they can and fails when she didn't even try. And all these government officials, they work for us. If somebody wants to take care of your mama in your house, when you fire her and get somebody else to take care of her, is it just because it's your mama? Don't you care about her? I'm sweating. Disgusting.
So listen, y'all. I don't wanna take up a whole bunch more time. I want us to start walking. It's not a long walk, but I think it's important to understand that everybody's like, well, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? I got all the phone calls in the world from last night until this morning. Who told you to protest it? Why you ain't going to the State House and why? It takes a lot of energy to ask questions. I think it takes more courage to actually come out to the house and do something. So, just to answer the question, I don't wait for nobody to come outside. If we don't start taking on the fact that when one black person dies, it affects us all, we're going to keep being here. We're going to keep being in this situation. And I don't know about y'all. When I say y'all, I'm talking to my people, but I'm tired. It's exhausting. So at this point, we have to understand that one thing white people do extremely well is they don't care about you, but they'll come together to fucking come against you. And they can hate each other. They don't give two shits. Why? Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep.
So even though they may not like each other, they'll come together to end you. And one of the things we don't like to talk about, and I'll end with this, is that inter-community thing that we deal with. When we get attacked by people that look like us in the midst of doing this work. It's real hard being an activist and organizer right now. And if any of y'all know, COINTELPRO is real. Police ran in my house October 19th with AK-47. Newborn in my arms. I got a 5-month-old baby. Here we are, February. Still nothing. Crickets. A whole press release running in my house. But of course, right? Character assassinate, dehumanize. Same thing they did to Fred Hammond, Malcolm X. Why? Because my mouth was too big. You know, it's crazy. 2020, I got more awards than any black woman in this city. They said she wields political power but never hold political office. There's a lot of people angry about that shit. So it's no accident what happened to me, but if they think I'm gonna lay down and die, you got to do better than that. So we're gonna walk. I'm gonna walk, yes. Just had a baby 5 months ago, but we're gonna walk over here to this police headquarters. And we're gonna say Amir's name, we're gonna say Anthony's name, we're gonna scream no justice, no peace. Because that's all we got, right?
Okay.
But after that, we're gonna make some phone calls to these legislators. You don't get to be comfortable, we put you there. You work for us. Your job is not secure right now. So we got to make phone calls. And to the people who are live streaming and you sitting at home, use your phone. You may not have been able to come to the protest, but we're not going to dictate how nobody shows up for their community. Use your phone. Use your email. Contact these legislators. This is an election year. One of the things that was super frustrating during the mayoral election in the city of Boston is that we're always in a situation of the lesser of two evils. Yep. And nobody wants to say that shit out loud. We still don't have representation. And don't get me wrong, love Mayor Wu to death, but she had just enough color for them to not be afraid. But not too much color where she could actually be effective. And that's the reality of it.
It is.
So at the end of the day, we still need to see us. And not just doing the work on the ground. They're good for using us as mules. And when I say us, I also want to say, because people hate me for saying it, if all you is black, we still losing. You're not paying attention to what's happening in the black community, talking to your people to figure out what you should be advocating for, then you're no different than them. No justice?
No peace!
Right to the governor! Contact Maura Healey! Contact Maura Healey! Contact Maura Healey! Right to the governor! Michelle! Woo!
registration drives all throughout the community in the second Suffolk district. If this is the most important race right now, when we need to get Maura Healey kicked the fuck out, I need to make sure you're registered to vote. I need to make sure you're getting your community registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, hit me up, hit my jack. I'm right here, and we can get it started.
The United States Supreme Court has a case. It's called affirmative action against Harvard University, a private Ivy League, and the University of North Carolina, a public institution. It would make using race as admissions into any college or university illegal. Okay, so I want you to go to the United States Supreme Court website, look up information, talk about this case amongst your friends, your family members, and your whoever it is, okay? Again, it would make using race as admissions into any college or university illegal, okay?
I'll post it on the violence against
The case, the arguments began the second week of October in Washington, D.C. Okay, the case is called Students for Fair Action versus Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. Okay, talk about this case with your friends, your family members, and your loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem.
Yo,
there's water here if anybody needs it. If y'all want to drink some water, I don't give a shit if you don't. There's water over here if y'all need it. Mobilize your people. Get everybody on your friends list. If there's 10 people on your friends list, to call a state legislator and get no-knock warrants in Massachusetts, okay? Don't just come to the protest and go. Because, truth be told, they don't give a shit that we out here. They just think this is all we're gonna do. So we gotta show them this ain't it. And for those who feel like voting doesn't matter, if it did matter, they wouldn't be so adamant on trying to take that shit from us.
That's right.
Understand that. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't be going so hard to end voting rights for black people. It ain't even a law. We're still fighting to vote in this country. And we built this fucking country off of our backs. Our ancestors built this country off our backs. So don't believe the hype. Keep voting. Black women is the reason why Biden's ass is in there. You understand? So this is just one part. Protesting is one piece. The other piece is mobilizing on their ass. And I know, if you Google, it's Monica Hates White Folks. Monica doesn't hate white folks. Monica hates white supremacy. Monica doesn't hate the police. Monica hates systematic racism. And also fuck the police. Let's just be clear. I don't want to sugarcoat that for nobody. Because at the end of the day, they keep referring to these bad apples, but what happens when the whole fucking basket is tainted? Even the black officers work within a system of white supremacy. So if you talk to those black police officers, they're being treated like shit. Let's not act like that the police was created to catch and return slaves, not to serve and protect us. So when you get those family members who think they're gonna join the police department to change the community, you're not. You're not. And if while you're black, you're in there, you're getting just as much as abuse as we're getting out here. So please don't let this just be a fucking protest. Go home, get on your phone. We're gonna post the information. You're gonna call, you're gonna flood their phone lines. Anything more than 5 calls, they start getting worried. You gotta flood their phone lines. From the state representatives to the attorney general, your mayor, call them all. Massachusetts has to get rid of no-knock warrants. We are one situation away from Ferguson. We are one situation away from Amir Locke. And as quiet as it's kept, City of Boston has already paid a few families for running in their house and had the wrong house. It's already happening. We're so progressive, we do really good at sweeping it under the rug. We're not progressive. This is one of the most racist places in the country. Let's be clear. Yep. It's just that ignorant ass racism. You don't know it until you stumble upon it. It's your teachers, your EMTs, your police officers, your firefighters. It's your legislators. Start talking about CRT and watch how motherfuckers cringe.
That's right.
Understand, we're in the fight for our lives. For black folks, we've been here. But if you are an ally or an accomplice, because I don't like allies, that just means don't do shit. If you are an accomplice, you have an obligation to get up off your ass and help us. And like I tell a lot of people, I've been saying it for a while, if I'm protesting, I'm the angry black woman. But with you standing next to me, oh shit, we got a problem back here. Great. That's the difference. That's how you use white privilege. It doesn't mean that you're rich. It means that you're not gonna get killed for how you look. You're not gonna get killed for using your voice. But I will. And not many people explain that. I don't have white privilege, I'm white and poor. Shit, me too. But you're not poor because you woke up looking like me. You poor because you fucked with the white supremacy guy. That's just how that goes. But this notion that we can't do this shit without each other is delusional. You could go on being racist, but 2022 is a year of fuck around and find out. So you can run up on a black person if you want to, but we beating the shit out of Karens.
Yeah. Please do so.
It will be no N-words and none of that shit. Because at the end of the day, enough is enough. I got 6 children that gotta grow up in this world.
Oh, sorry.
And do I believe we're gonna end racism? No. But I just want to leave it a little bit more easier than it was handed to me. So when y'all leave here, that's the instruction, y'all. Don't just leave here and think, oh my God, I protested with the Negroes, we're good now. No, we're not. Because even when we're not protesting, the work continues. While the police was running in my house, October 19th, I was housing a young man who was shot 7 times in a hotel. When they drew AK-47s on me and my newborn, I had a young man living somewhere because he can't go back home due to gang violence. While they was slandering me in every news headline, I was feeding my community and giving out diapers and making sure that my people's are straight and paying rent.
Yes.
Understand, the attack, it was definitely calculated. Because let's make people think she's fucked up so she could lose some of her power. I know they fucked up right now that I'm outside. But like Fannie Lou Hamer, if you kill me, I'm gonna fall 6 feet 2 inches in the face of justice. Understand, I did kill myself, the motherfuckers did it, and y'all better burn this bitch down. Don't protest. Just start burning up shit. If you ever read a headline that Monica is gone, know they took me. And everybody likes to glamorize this protester shit. It's not glamorous.
No.
I get death threats by people who are white supremacists, but also those that look like me.
A community black man sits on the internet for 3 hours and 45 minutes a day talking about me. Not because I harmed them, but because of jealousy and envy. Impact makes motherfuckers mad. So they real mad right now. Impact. When you feeding and taking care of your people, you can talk all the shit you want about me, but you can't stop this movement. Because if the government's not gonna take care of us, I'm gonna take care of us. We all we fucking got. Understand the media plays a huge role in this, so for those of y'all that are press, you play a role in how this is fucking laid out and dictated. Don't just cover us when we burning up fucking stores and tearing up shit. Even though we're rightfully just in that shit, because I don't give 2 fucks about the UGG store. They racial profile me on a regular day.
Please, they got insurance.
But the truth of the matter is narratives matter. Narratives matter.
Life over property.
At the end of the day, when we say Black Lives Matter, that's because they have not. They haven't mattered. Y'all don't give a fuck. And what happens is media, press, and the Coon Brigade partner with white supremacy to discredit you, so you'll be less effective. I'm gonna keep kicking in fucking doors. I'm gonna keep protesting. I'm still gonna keep feeding my community. I'm gonna keep reaching out. I'm gonna keep screaming until they kill me. So y'all have directions today to make some phone calls. We're gonna get ready to get out of here because I know we all got shit to do. We need to eat. My lips is